Hello, my name is Kelly Bluen. Welcome to my Mini-Mandala series. This is episode 16. So my hope with these videos is that I can show you a quick way to make a little mandala without using all of the fancy tools. If you like your circles and your lines to be perfectly straight and even, you can use a compass, protractor, ruler, whatever you would like. But I'm not too worried about mine being perfect. I like them to be a little bit more whimsical, a little bit more natural. So I don't use those for these mini mandalas. Today I'm using a Micron PN plastic nib pen. Any Micron fine line pen will work. I have a graphite pencil for drawing and shading, a blending tool, my coin, a penny to start the center of my mandala, and then I have just a kneaded eraser. Okay, let's get started. So I start with my pencil, and I place the coin somewhere on my paper, and I trace it very lightly. We're going to be doing a lot of erasing today of our pencil lines, so nice and light. Okay, now we're going to make our grid. So I like to put a horizontal line across the center and a vertical line up and down the center. I also like to divide each of these 4 areas in half. And now we're ready to begin. All right, so I am going to pick up my pen right now for this next part. And inside this first circle, I'm actually going to do a little U shape within each of these sections. Just a little bump. And inside the middle, I'm going to fill in a little bit of those lines, but not all the way across. And I'm going to put a little circle on each end. I'm going to switch back to my pencil, and I'm going to make my next circle. So this one I'm going to make about the width of my pencil. And to make these circles, I just sketch really lightly. Try to make it kind of even, but I'm not too concerned. If you don't like the way your circle looks, go ahead and adjust it, make it narrower, wider, rounder. Whatever you need to do. Pick up my pen again. And now in each of these sections, I'm going to do just a little mountain shape, but I'm going to round it at the top. And it makes sort of this egg shape when I'm done. So I'm just touching the top of that line, coming back down. As you can see, some of mine look different than the other ones. It's okay. We're doing this for relaxation. We're doing it to get nice ideas. We're not doing it for perfection. Okay, inside each of those little shapes, I'm going to put a narrow V. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okay, a narrow V, and then a wider V. Narrow and wide. You want 4 lines in each one. One more section. Now in each of those little tiny sections, I'm going to add a little bump shape. So I'm going to start down here, and I'm just going to put this little bump, kind of filling it in and rounding out that top area. I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm just putting in like a little tiny bump, filling in that extra area. Look how that changes what we've made. Take your time. We want those to be a little bit rounded. If there's any part that you aren't comfortable making, go ahead and skip it, or just do something completely different. Just want this to be a relaxing exercise where we repeat our lines over and over again. That's so pretty, and I like how that middle circle, that line has kind of disappeared. I'm going to put my pen down for a moment. And I'm going to make another circle. So I've got this one still in pencil, and I'm going to make another one about the same width. Again, I do this nice and light, and I kind of just make a series of small lines, trying to get that circle to be as round as I can, as even as I can. All right, I'm going back to my pen. And I'm going to repeat that same rounded mountain shape. So I'm going to go from the top of this one, and I'm going to make it hit that line and come back down, but I'm going to make it a little bit rounded at the top. Hit that top and round it down to the next one. These should pretty much touch each other. If there's a little bit of space, it's okay. And in this one, I'm going to put a straight line, not all the way to the top. And then I'm going to put a little dark circle. Straight line, circle. Try to make these go almost all the way to the end. And then I'm going to do two curvy ones, one on each side, that are a little bit shorter. That fills up that space, makes it look so pretty. And then I'm going to ink in this line, which is the first circle we're really inking in. So I'm just going to very carefully go all the way around. Okay. Now inside here, I'm going to do something where I'm going to come down, do a little loop, and go back up. So I'm kind of following that same line, do a loop and go back up, and that kind of follows that line. If that's tricky, you can just make a little triangle like that and add your little loop at the end. I love that. Okay, now I'm going to add another circle right next to that outer circle. So nice and slow, just curving my line around. For some reason, these seem to be the trickiest ones. Okay, so now for this part, I'm actually going to add some more grid lines. So I'm not going to draw this part in here, but I'm going to start my pencil at the center, and I'm just going to lift my pencil, come out here, and divide that in half. So I'm just lifting my pencil and then dividing in half. Lift your pencil, divide in half. Okay. So now I'm going to start at this very top one up here. And I'm going to, actually, let me see. I think I'm going to draw one more circle. So I'm going to make it a little bit wider this time. A little bit wider than my pencil. This will be our last circle. Nice and light because we're going to erase it. Okay, so I'm going to start at that first line and end 2 sections over. So I'm going to put a dot there and a dot here to remind myself. And I'm going to put a little dot in the center up there. If your lines aren't perfectly even, you can adjust and put your dot wherever you think the center is. So this is a line that's a little bit tricky for some, but we're going to bump up and curve in. Bump up and then curve in the other way. Need a dot in the center. And I'm going to go up and curve in, up and curve in. These are a little bit harder to make, but they look beautiful. Up and curve in, up and curve in. Keep repeating that motion. It looks so pretty. All right, now I'm going to start at that same point, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a space and then go right up into that point. A little bit of space and come down to that point. So I'm doing that same thing, curve up and in, up and in. I like going from point to point. All right, while you're finishing that up, I'm going to erase my grid lines. And then we'll add our last couple of details. Okay, in each of these cute little bumped sections, going to make an upside down teardrop and color it in. Upside down teardrop, color it in. Relaxing your grip on your pen. If you have a good pen, you shouldn't need to push too hard. And then I'm going to finish those sections off. You can do whatever you want. You can do another one on each side. You could do a little dash. I'm going to jump up and do a little curve. But feel free to do whatever you think would look nice. Jumping up and doing a little curve on each side. Okay, and because I made these little open circles in the center, I'm going to finish these off with just an open circle and coloring in that space in between the circle and the end. And I'm going to aura it and add a little reflection. So I'm making a circle, outlining, adding a reflection, just to finish off and balance this piece. I like trying to repeat some of the elements. You know, we've got these little straight lines here and here. We've got little loops and then some loops up here. I like when we can repeat. So we still need to shade it, but pretty much our mandala is done. So initial your work. I always write the date on my page, and I write a little journal entry about what's going on in my life right now. And we'll do a little bit of shading and be done. All right, I'm going to go in the middle, and I'm just going to put a little bit right in that center. Just putting down a little bit of graphite. Pick up my blending tool and just pushing it out a little bit. Then I'm going to go right on the inside of those curves. And I'm going to put a little bit along that curvy line. And I'm going to push that up just a little bit into those petals. I'm going to jump to the outside of these big petals here, and I'm going to put the graphite along the outside of those. And essentially, I'm just drawing a line right up against it with my pencil. Take my blending tool and I soften that all the way around on each side. It's nice and gentle, giving it a smooth transition. And then I'm going to go on the outside of this large circle. So I'm putting it all the way around on that outside edge. The only circle we really still see on this mandala. All the way. And then we'll push that out into those petals. You just want a smooth transition from the darkest area up to the lightest area. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some around these circles. I'm not going to do the whole outside edge. I just don't really think that's necessary today, but if you'd like to, you can. But I am going to do the circles just to give them a little bit of a shadow. And we're done. That's our mini mandala, episode 16. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Please remember to like this video and subscribe. It helps these videos get out to more people. You can get materials at zentangle.com, or you can follow me on Facebook at Let's Tangle, and I offer some of the materials there. I also link Amazon links in the description of the video. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.